guys, welcome to video number 15. Now in this video, as I've already mentioned, we're going to be going into price action and how it works, the best way to interpret price action, and in my opinion, why it is so awesome. So price action is the most simple of the three forms of analysis, as I discussed a few videos back. Now, it doesn't require any indicators. It doesn't require much on your chart at all. That's what I love about it. It's so simple. Now, with price action, you're essentially focusing on what the chart is telling you without any indicators, what the chart itself is telling you, what the certain price points are, how it's reacting to those price points. Now, you may have heard of the likes of support, resistance, trend lines, extensions, etc. Now, these are all price action terms, and what you are doing basically is you're drawing, say, support and resistance lines or trend lines or flag patterns or whatever based on what the chart is telling you. So if you look at a chart, for instance, and you can see that it's gone upwards and then it's hit a certain point, it's retraced a bit, it's hit that point again, and it's come down, it's hit that point again, and it just can't seem to break through it. Now, the more you look at charts, the more you'll see this kind of thing. Now, this particular point, it's telling you something, isn't it? Now, that's what we would call a resistance level, a strong resistance level as well, because it's hitting that level, it's a level of resistance. It can't seem to get past it. Similarly, if the same was happening in a downward direction and it was bouncing off of a bottom, you'd call that a support level. Now, you don't need any indicators to tell you that. All you need is to be able to look at the chart and see, okay, it's struggling to get past a certain price point. That must be a key level. And of course, if you draw a line there and you zoom out on that chart, you might see that 2 days ago, it bounced off that same level. And then 5 days before that, it bounced off that same level again. And that tells you something. Okay, this is a key level, a key psychological level. So it is a point that it has a high likelihood of bouncing from. And you can use this kind of information to determine where the chart's going to move to next. Same with trend lines. If you've seen somebody draw diagonal trend lines, you can get an idea of where it's going to go based on how it's reacting with certain trend lines. And that is how AccuTrade's algorithms are built. They're built around price action. So they take key important levels and plot them on your chart so that you can see, okay, these levels are the important ones to focus on, and it gives you a much clearer vision of what's going on rather than just trying to draw your own lines, essentially, because that can be quite a tedious task. And of course, you've got to know where to draw the lines too, not draw them in the wrong place, because you can get them pretty close, but you can still have them slightly out. So that's the whole purpose of it. Now, I like price action because there's zero BS, there's zero lagging. Now that's one of the things that I sort of harped on a bit about in the last video, was about lagging of technical analysis. Now, you don't get lagging in price action because it is up to the minute. You know that that level is key. You know that when it comes, let's say it's hit a certain support level 3 times in the past day on a 15-minute chart and it just can't seem to break through it, and it's coming down towards that level again. Well, you already know before it's even gotten to that level that there's a high likelihood of it bouncing back. So you've already got that notice, that signal in advance, which is something indicators can't give you, is an advance notice to go, okay, there's a high likelihood of this bouncing off. So then what you would do is you would wait for a little bit of confirmation. Okay, so you wait for one candle to hit that level, and then you'd wait for another candle to close inside that level so that you know it's not just going to go straight through it. And then you would go, all right, place an order based on what the candles are telling you, place an order, set your stop, set your target, and away you go. And that way you've got an advance notice and you're on time. You're not 2 or 3 bars too late. Now, that is essentially, in a nutshell, it doesn't get much more complicated than that. Just price action, lines, trend lines, horizontal lines, just lines and key levels. That's all there is to price action. That's why I like it. It's so simplistic. It's so easy to get your head around. There's not much to it, and you don't need 10 or 20 copious indicators on your chart to tell you something. You just need your eyes and you need a good eye for key levels. And this is something that you develop over time, is your ability to be able to look at a chart and pick key levels and go, there's an important level, there's an important level, that one's not so important. Or to be able to zoom out and go, hey, it's in a trend, you know, and draw yourself a couple of trend lines and go, okay, it's gonna bounce off this one, now it's gonna bounce off this one, now it's gonna bounce off this one, or hey, looks like there's gonna be a breakout and it's gonna go in the opposite direction. Now, all of this comes with time. And as I say before, this is where AccuTrade's algorithms help, because they plot those levels. You don't have to sit there and draw lines and spend half an hour every morning doing it. It just plots it for you, and it plots them up to date. So that's price action for you. Not much more to it than that. So we're gonna go straight to the next video where we talk about which analysis methods should you use and why. All right, I'll see you next.